Hello, you beautiful people. This is Conversations in the Clinic. I'm Dr. Kelly, and we are talking about hip mobility today. I always tell everybody there are 3 places on my body that I will make sure are strong and mobile until the moment that I die. And that is in order: my hips, my ankles, and my thoracic spine. Okay, now everybody knows hips, everybody knows ankles. Your thoracic spine is the middle part of your back, the part really between your shoulder blades that connects your neck and your low back. If I keep those 3 areas strong and mobile until the day I die, I know I'm going to have a high quality health span, and I'll be able to be independent for as long as I want. They're in that order for that reason: HAT, hips, ankles, thoracic spine. Because if my hips are mobile and strong, I can get myself up off of a toilet. I can get myself up and down stairs. I can get myself into and out of a car. I can get myself into and out of bed. I can get myself into and out of a shower. Your hips are among the most functional joints in our body. And I have seen far too many people lose that capacity in their hips, and it has affected so much of their life. So much. You can get away with like losing an elbow or a hand, but hips, they're tough. They're tough functionally to replace or like only use one side of. You're not really, you can use your left hand to do stuff, but you can't only use your left hip to walk, right? So hips are really, really, really important. The move that I shared on Facebook and Instagram that like blew up this week was a very simple, I'm going to do it here so you guys can see it. If you are listening on the podcast, all I'm doing is sitting. Okay, I have a whole bunch of stuff of my daughter's here. Here's a Mickey Mouse stuffy. And all I'm doing is lifting my foot over either side of the Mickey Mouse stuffy. It's like 6 inches off the ground. Obviously, if it was higher up, it would be harder. But that is a really simple movement to be able to do to fight gravity with that hip flexor. People break out the cane and the walker and start to lose some functional independence as they get older. I'm going to put that in air quotes, because we sit for too long of our lives as a society, and our hip flexors shorten up, and we stop asking them to do powerful things and get stronger, and we stop asking them to extend, right? So if you see an old person, not even an old person, I misspoke there. If you see somebody on a walker, okay, and they're using their walker, they're taking really short steps. And there could be 100 reasons why they're taking really short steps. The most common ones that I see and can have an impact on are the tightness of their hip flexors. Okay, so they're hunched at their hips, right? That muscle's supposed to be nice and long. And do this, basically help us kind of march. If someone's using a walker, they're naturally going to be hunched over to put the weight through their arms of their walker, so that's going to shorten their hip flexors even more. And it's really hard to get your leg behind you if that muscle is short. We need to get our leg behind us to take a full step. Okay, so when I do the world's greatest stretch, which is here, we get down, we reach, we do all kinds of things in this position. Part of why that's the world's greatest stretch is because it gets our hip behind us. It extends our hip. Okay, so that's the first thing. Let's talk about the internal and external rotation of our hip. So quite often, I'll get down in this world's greatest stretch position. Okay, again, why this is the world's greatest stretch? We're killing a lot of birds with one stone. Now, I'm 8.5 months pregnant here. I'm going to find a comfortable position. But if we can get my left hip to go behind me by leaning forward, I can now internally and externally and adduct my right hip through here. Okay? So if you can see it, again, if you're listening on the podcast, all I'm doing is I'm kneeling down with one leg behind me, the other leg's in front of me, and I'm just shifting my weight from the inside of my foot to the outside of my foot. So we're getting movement and mobility and rotation and demanding something of that joint that it probably hasn't done in a while. If that's hard, do it elevated. Okay, so now we can go to a couch. You can do the same thing. Okay, if that's too low of a surface, go to the other side of the couch. Or if you can do it, you're not going to be able to see what I'm doing here, but you can do it here. And rock your foot back and forth. Okay? Because if we don't use it, we lose it. And when we do use it and we grade it and dose it in a way that our body can adapt to those demands, it gets better. In most healthy people, it gets better, unless you have a genetic condition or a joint condition or something that has been diagnosed that it wouldn't. Most of us, it gets better, and it doesn't matter how old you are. It's generally proportional. Like if you haven't used it in 40 years, it's not going to come back next week. And if you haven't used it in a week, it's probably going to come back a lot sooner. But really, really, really important to keep your hips strong and mobile until the day you die. As best you can. Fight like hell to keep them as functional as you can for as long as you can. They're connected to everything else, your low back, your knees, even like your shoulders, right? There's like cross slinging between your right and your left side because that's how we walk and that's how we run. They really, 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 really matter. So that's my hip mobility spiel. Make sure, if this was helpful, let me know. If you know someone who needs to hear this, please share it with them. And as always, thank you for your energy, your time, your attention, your effort that you've shared with me today. Keep moving and keep getting better every day.